Cheryl Flohr. I'm with Parker Hannifin Corporation, a large diversified manufacturing company, and I work for the aerospace part of Parker, which is called Parker Aerospace. We're a supplier to all of the prime airplane and airplane engine manufacturers in the world. So all of the people that are here at DSE, if they flew in, there were hundreds of Parker products all over that airplane they flew on. Well, I'm part of a team of communication professionals at our company that we're responsible for internal and external communication. So we use digital signage or screens or media players, other aspects of this digital communication world in a lot of ways, and we're trying to learn more about how we can do it better. So, we're looking for new ideas, new technology, ways to save money, just to be more efficient and more productive. As an end user, we're always on the lookout for new, better ways to do things. And so the other members of the advisory board are very impressive. They're at large companies that are using digital signage in really interesting, creative, slick ways, both internally with their employees or team members, but also externally with customers and suppliers, the public, surely, it's natural. So, I'm really on board because I want to learn from them. We do about 30 trade shows a year, includes all areas of the world, Asia, Europe, the Americas. We're getting ready for the Paris Air Show right now. So, our use has included things like large video walls, animation and screens, tiny little screens where we tell single individual stories as part of a larger graphic. Touch screens where there's lots of content. We're working on an interactive right now with an engine where we're getting into our products in the engine, so you can turn the engine and flip and pull it up and caption it and tell more about it with contact information where you send data. So, a variety of experiences and uses. Just here at DSE this week, I saw some other things I thought we could probably use that in our trade shows. Those were good ideas. Internally, we have just adopted a digital signage communication system in our lobbies. So just over the last year, we have employed this system with a content manager in our office in 25 locations just in the U.S., in the lobbies of, we have 44 locations worldwide, but these are just these 25 locally. And in that content system, we give our employees or visitors in the lobby information about the group itself, Parker Aerospace, the larger group, or the division they're part of. They might have 5 facilities, and the site. There's also RSS feeds that give current stock price and local weather and time, and there's a place where the receptionist can load in names of visitors, so they could welcome Karen to you, from DSE for that day. So, that's been a really interesting system. We're just learning, and we're investigating right now the capability of sending that same data to employees' computers, their desktops, as a screensaver, or to their mobile device. And I'm personally really excited about this because I think this is we're always asking employees to pull information to them, open the newsletter, open the video webcast, and this way we're pushing it to them. And then when they return from lunch or a meeting, there it is. And there are these, little sound bites of data that we're trying to share with them. So I just think, boy, this is the way to go. I'm really excited about that potential. Some of these things are measurable, and some are a lot more difficult to quantify. In terms of this lobby system that Parker just installed at our various lobbies, I will tell you kind of an anecdote. In the past, we would take our team, say we had a big event. We had the first flight of the Airbus A350. And so we make the fuel system on this and a lot of other product. So we would create a PowerPoint set of slides and maybe embed the video of the first flight. And then we would send it to all the divisions and kind of plead with them, please, would you play this in your lobby and other screens or, with employees. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't, sometimes it was very delayed, sometimes they would change the material. It wasn't reliable. Today with this system, we control that completely in our office. I walk across the hall to the graphic art director, and he loads this content, we play with it and tweak it, we get it just right, and instantaneously. So the day that the aircraft flies, that we learn about it, we're all ready to go, we launch it. Now we have controlled the content, we've controlled the launch time, and we've only done it once. Only one little team had to touch it, the whole rest didn't. So that's quantifiable labor that we can talk about in terms of man hours and in terms of reach and timeliness. So, some of these things are, to repeat what I said earlier, easily quantifiable. Another example, we use a video webcast, which is really on the outskirts of this. It's a digital piece, but this webcast has a certain cost to it. It replaces print newsletters. So that was an evolution. Now, as we're looking at this screensaver where we might deliver this video, this will replace the webcast, I believe. So now that's a very quantifiable savings, very significant. So this is something that I can use. When we talk to our executives, we have to, price is almost always the determining factor for new technology. So we lead with price and we end with price. We talked to somebody in a seminar here at DSE, used a really great phrase. He said, it's not just ROI, return on investment, it's ROO, return on objectives. And I thought, right on, that's exactly right. But at the end of the day, it's both the objectives being met, but also the investment. So we have to do both. I've learned too that sometimes, we, as a large corporation, we often tend to gravitate toward other large corporations who are suppliers. And sometimes they're maybe not be the best solution to a problem. Sometimes it's the smaller company that's got a new kind of slick idea that's maybe a little more effective. It might be more cost effective, but it also might be more robust. So, what we're learning is let's compare the whole field. Let's not just settle on someone that we feel really comfortable and safe with. A member of my team always uses the phrase, we have to pay attention to the wolf closest to the sled. And what that means, of course, is that, we are just governed by the tyranny of the urgent. It's a firefight all the time, trying to get things done. So the great challenge as a professional for everybody here at DSE, both as the end user and as the provider, is to stay on top of technology, to learn, to evaluate, to get trained, just to keep knowledgeable. And it's really a daunting task. And so DSE has been a kind of a leg up for me. Instead of having to sift through, the boatloads of email and, cold calls and just stuff we get from vendors, DSE's been a way for me to kind of sift through that very quickly, get a real good snapshot of different kinds of things. This is the first time I've gone to some of DSE's educational seminars, and boy howdy, I've really enjoyed them. I've learned, I've taken a bunch of notes. I'm going to share them with my team. I thought that the quality of the speakers was excellent, very experienced and knowledgeable. I really impressed with their use of the medium. And so, it's been a great experience for me. This year, I invited 2 members of my team, and a trade show manager and an art director, but also the head of our creative agency, who came in from Cleveland. And he has really enjoyed the show as well. I just ran into him before I came here. And, so it's been, for him, he faces the same problems that we do. He needs to stay abreast of new technology. One of the things that we're doing in tandem is, he's always been responsible for our print ads and our print literature, collateral brochures, capabilities brochures. And so, I believe that we should not start with print anymore. We need to start digitally. So as we create the asset, it is a digital asset. So that might include motion graphics, it might include embedded video, it might include layers of data, and then we skinny that down and we can make the print piece. So now we have an asset that when we start from the get-go, it is a much greater an asset to use. So now we can repurpose this on our website, in a touch screen in a trade show environment, and of course mobily. Of course there's all sorts of questions. We're working through it. We're really on the very beginning of this journey. But my colleague from the agency and I are really trying to wrestle through this. It's got to be multi-platform. That may be one of the biggest hurdles. The world of digital communication which is really what DSE is about. It's about digital communication to the end user, to the customer, to the audience, a particular audience, and it is evolving so quickly. And the costs are scaling down quickly, the capabilities are scaling up. I'm the mother of two young 20-year-olds, and I see that they live their life digitally. I think of my iPhone or my tablet as a tool, or tools. They see them as part of their communication vehicle. This is not, they don't think of it as, like, oh, I should go get that and use it. This is just what they just use seamlessly throughout their life, whether they're in grad school or they're talking about social stuff, whether they're planning an event or shopping. It's a very interesting observation to see how they live their life. So this is where the world is going. So we got to keep up. The digital signage industry has arrived.